Yeah, fine, okay. Do you know what it means, Mohammed is trans? What does that mean?
I haven't heard that.
Are you a Brit?
Do I sound like a Brit?
Oh, no, you don't. No. Okay, Patrick, let's go this way. It's interesting. The guy comes out to a protest in the middle of the busiest city in the world saying Mohammed is trans. I mean, it's bizarre, and then won't explain what he means. Let's walk in here. This is where it's really kicking off, viewers. If you hang tight, we've got all the flags going on. We've got the socialist-style placards. Guys, hello, Ben Leo from GBNews in the UK. Why do you cover your faces at these kind of events?
Media. I'm not talking to the fucking media. Get the fuck out of my face.
So, why do you wear a mask at these events? Just out of
I want to
interest?
get British diseases. So
No worries. British disease. I think I'm quite clean actually. I had a shower this one. Right, let's head into here. Human rights are decimated. Intifada revolution. So hello, Ben from the GB News in the UK. Have you got 2 minutes just to see why you're here? You supporting the Palestinian cause?
I don't think you should go on.
I cannot go on.
Yeah. Shouldn't talk. Why shouldn't he talk?
I just for work and stuff, but we are
Work stuff.
pro-Palestine.
You're pro-Palestine. Are you pro peace? What would happen if there was a peace deal? Would this kind of event stop?
We don't want to be.
Okay, got it. It's interesting. A lot of these guys. Hey, how are you, man?
Hi, hey, what's your name?
Ben from GB News
nice
in
to
London.
meet you.
Are you here supporting the Palestine cause, or what are you doing here?
I'm just checking it out. I'm kind of new to the movement, but I mean, I kind of recognize that there's, wrong things going on in the world.
In Gaza?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what brought you down here?
I guess my girlfriend, Yusra, she's Muslim. So I guess, she's kind of on the, not that it's kind of bad that there are sides, but I guess she's kind of on that side per se. But even in my own independent research, it's obvious when there's been 20,000 children that have been basically slaughtered either purposefully or non-purposefully, there's something very wrong going on down there.
Of course, people obviously were slaughtered on October the 7th 2 years ago today. Do you think it's respectful that this kind of event happens on the 2-year anniversary? I mean, it was obviously intended.
I don't know. To be honest, it might be a little bit disrespectful, but
you're still here.
Yeah, I just got here to check it out. I know about the 2-year anniversary thing that's happening with regards to Jewish people, and I recognize that might be a little bit disrespectful. But sometimes you have to be disrespectful in life to show a message.
Okay. So you look like you want to talk. Do you have your fist in your mouth? Come on, be proud of your position.
I am proud of my position, but I got a lot to lose.
You've got a lot to lose. I mean, surely you should put your
October
position
7th. How about 1948?
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying it started before October the 7th.
So it's not about October 7th.
The latest conflicts, of course, came from October the 7th. And I guess
way before even 1948.
I guess the argument is that this war in Gaza could have ended long ago if the hostages were released.
It's not about the hostages either. Okay? If they release hostages, they will be still slaughtered.
Do you think Israel should exist as a state?
Oh, there we go.
Am I on TV?
Yeah, you're live. You're concerned about. You say you've got a lot to lose, but it's such a passionate topic for you.
No, I am passionate.
Surely you should put your morality above anything else.
I am passionate, but you don't understand what goes on in this country. Okay?
What does go on?
If you are in my position, you will understand.
Okay. All right. Let's try and find someone else. It's interesting, guys, how. I mean, that young lad wanted to talk. He accepted it was disrespectful to come here. Hello, Ben from London. Have you got 2 seconds? We just want to see what you're doing here. What brought you down here today?
For Israel's crimes. It's what we're saying. Not another nickel, not another dime. No more money for Israel's crimes they're committing in Gaza.
Okay.
Illegal occupation of Palestine. 2 years of genocide.
Okay. If President Trump achieved a peace deal in Gaza, would there be a need for this? Would you continue coming down? A deal that Hamas accepted, Israel accepted? I mean, surely that's what this is about, isn't it? It's about stopping the killing of civilians.
No, it's about a lot more. It's about the illegal occupation of land and decolonizing the land. It's about Israel
not existing.
Correct.
So you don't want Israel to exist?
Correct. I believe Jews, Muslims, anyone should coexist in the Holy Land as they have for hundreds of years.
Where should the Jews currently in Israel go then as a state?
Where they are. They can stay right where they are.
But you said Israel shouldn't exist as a state.
Correct.
So what should happen logistically, geographically? What should the area be called?
I didn't say anyone needs to move. I just said it should be run by Palestinians. It's their rightful ownership to their own land.
So that area should be run by Palestinians with Jews as citizens? Okay.
Obviously.
Right, okay. Thank you for your time.
Wake up. Free Palestine. Wake up.
Right, let's try and find one more person. Sir, why are you masked just out of interest? Why do you wear a mask?
I'm not answering nothing.
Why not? You've come down here to protest, you're in public.
Record me all you want, I'm just not answering your question.
All right, well, no, we won't waste our time then. Thank you. Who can we find? Anyone? What's this one here? Let's ask this chap. Who's this guy? Hello. So, hello, sorry to bother you. Ben from GBNews in London. Just wondered what you're doing down here today. Why are you masked? Why are you here on the second anniversary?
I just said I want to do it.
Okay, no worries. Right, let's try one more, Patrick. One more, lucky last roll of the dice. Guys, hello, sorry to bother you. Ben from GBNews in London. Just wondered what you're doing down here today. Some people would argue it's disrespectful on the second anniversary and so on. Anything to say to that?
Why would you think it's disrespectful, though?
Well, the argument is, I mean, my argument as well, that of course civilians were slaughtered on
I'm
October 7th.
Palestinian, but our civilians are being slaughtered.
I'll speak to you in a second, yeah.
Please, you skipped me last
Yeah,
time.
but I agree with him, though.
What did he say?
Palestinians are being slaughtered.
Yeah.
And at no rate or same rate as Israelis. And October 7th, it was the Hannibal Directive that killed the majority of Israelis. So what do you have to say about that, sir?
Well, he's saying the Hannibal Directive is where Israel was accused of putting helicopters
They weren't.
up
No.
and
They weren't
firing.
accused. They weren't.
But there were
Sir.
there were videos of Hamas. There was a video 2 years ago today of I've forgotten her name, the poor woman on the back of the pickup truck with Palestinian Hamas fighters spitting on her body. That wasn't Israel, was it?
What about the hostages?
I mean, sir, what about all of the babies?
No. Answer that. That wasn't Israel, was
No.
it?
Answer it. I got
Sir,
it.
there's
I got
no equating
Do you
anything.
condemn that kind of behaviour?
Absolutely not. Glory.
I got it.
So for
Hello?
me,
And I'm a Jew,
Okay.
and I'm an anti-Zionist Jew.
For me-
And I say fuck Israel, I say
Yeah.
fuck Zionism,
All right.
and I say
Sir, how about me?
Fuck you.
I'm Palestinian.
Fuck
Are you ready
you.
to go away?
Instead of
Are you ready
swearing,
to go away?
instead of swearing,
No, I'm not going to say instead of swear. I'm
Yeah,
going to say
because-
fuck you.
All right,
I
let's
fuck
go.
Britain. I say fuck Britain.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
All right, well, there we go. Ben Leo, stay safe. I mean, I do hope he is okay, because he just like to get a bit tasty. I would actually just like to say, firstly, that I think that was genuinely one of the most sensational 6 or 7 minutes of television that I have ever seen. That starting with the bloke being asked what flag is that, and he just proud as much goes, it's the Hamas flag. We had a placard that said Mohammed is trans, and then we had that. I mean, I do actually hope Ben's all right, because he did look like he was getting a bit tasty towards the end there. Oh yes, also sorry about the language. Apologies about that, but not really our fault, I think. But anyway, sorry if anyone was offended by that. Right, okay, well, let's do my show now. Welcome to Late Edition, breaking right now.
In the hour and a half that I was filming with news there, I didn't see another white face. And that's not the kind of country I want to live in.
Robert Jenrick's comments at a Tory dinner about integration in Birmingham have made not one, but two national newspaper front pages. Meanwhile,
China.
well, scandal, because the Director of Public Prosecutions has confirmed that the China spy case was dropped because the Prime Minister's security advisors didn't want to call China an enemy. Here's another little Trump montage for you.
Tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it?
Do you remember all those people that said the EU was our friend, that we needed to remain part of the EU, that the EU love us, je suis European? Yeah, it turns out they absolutely flipping hate us. The EU is threatening to cripple UK steel with 50% tariffs, despite Sir Keir Starmer's Brexit reset. And
alongside their demonisation of trans people, our government and media is currently also complicit in a genocide. And I know some of you may think a wedding is not the time to think of this.
Honestly, like, yeah. That was a woman at her own wedding, I think, using it as a way of just banging on about Palestine. And finally,
I am so proud of all of you. You know how privileged I feel to have been educated at Howard University.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I've had a long lunch. Next. We'll be going back to New York with Ben Leo very soon, if they've not lynched him yet. But joining us on the panel tonight, we've got trade unionist Andy Twelves, we've got the Telegraph's Poppy Coburn, and GB News contributor and comedian and rock star Paul Cox. But first, let's get those news headlines with Tatiana Sanchez.
Patrick, thank you very much. The top story, some breaking news this hour that a 17-year-old boy and a 22-year-old man have been arrested by police investigating a cyber attack on a chain of nurseries in London. The Metropolitan Police say the pair were arrested in Hertfordshire on suspicion of computer misuse and blackmail. Hackers were said to have stolen the photographs, names and addresses of around 8,000 children from the Kiddo chain. The force said it received a referral from the Action Fraud Cybercrime Reporting Service on the 25th of September detailing a ransomware attack. Those arrested remain in custody for questioning. Pro-Palestine protesters gathered at King's Cross Station earlier this evening, demonstrating on the second anniversary of the October 7th attacks in Israel. It comes after the Prime Minister branded such protests un-British. Writing in The Times, he added the UK remains committed to peace with a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable Palestinian state, he said. Meanwhile, a memorial took place in Tel Aviv to mark the second anniversary of the terror attack. Thousands gathered for the bereaved families' memorial ceremony. Families of those still missing say they'll keep fighting until every hostage is returned. That's as Israel's military campaign in Gaza continues. More than 67,000 people have been killed. Elsewhere, Robert Jenrick says he won't shy away from his comments about not seeing another white face during a visit to Birmingham's Handsworth area. He insists his remarks were about integration and not race, linking poor integration to last week's terror attack in Manchester. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch defended him, saying there's nothing wrong with making observations, but Labour called his comments a red line. Former Tory Mayor Andy Street said Mr Jenrick was wrong about Handsworth, which he described as a very integrated place. It all comes after The Guardian published a leaked recording of Mr Jenrick's remarks from a Conservative dinner in March. And Kemi Badenoch sat down with our political editor Christopher Hope. She warned that high immigration levels damage communities.
Small boats were not caused by Tory policies. They're small boats in France. They're in Italy. There is a problem with global mass migration. We tried lots of things to fix it. They didn't work. People saw that we ended up, the courts, stopping us from doing that. That's why we're leaving the ECHR, because we're tired of people using the courts to frustrate the democratic will. But you will remember that before small votes, it was channel migrants coming through the tunnel. We fixed that. We stopped that. So we can do it again.
Those are the latest GB News headlines. It's over to Patrick.
Tune into GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Welcome back to Late Edition. Let's get straight into Wednesday's newspaper front pages before we go to Ben Leo in New York for one of the maddest pieces of footage you will ever see. Let's go to The Independent. Jenrick defiant in racism row over white faces remarks. Probably mainly because it wasn't racist, I think. But, it's never stopped The Independent before, has it? The Daily Mail, China given a free pass to spy on... Gosh, I can't talk, sorry. To spy on Britain, there you go. So the Director of Public Prosecutions, which actually used to be Keir Starmer, didn't it, has now confirmed that Keir Starmer's government has basically crashed a Chinese spy court case, which is... kind of, I thought, the opposite of what this government was supposed to really be doing. But anyway, the I-Paper, millions of UK drivers will get £700 payout for major car finance scandal. The vast majority of new cars and many second-hand ones are bought with finance agreements, yeah. Firms broke the law or FCA rules by not properly telling buyers about commission that they were being paid. I'm quite keen to find out whether or not that includes me, actually, so maybe it is right to be on the front page. The Metro, no whites don't make a wrong, Bob. That's the, yeah. It's a catchy headline, but, I mean, obviously slightly undermined by the fact that they did go and interview a man from Pakistan who lives in Birmingham who confirmed that you don't see that many white people there. But anyway, The Times, ministers refuse to help China's spying prosecutions. Kemi Badenoch's got an idea to, I think, do something with the economy. The Guardian, Jenrick accused of fueling toxic nationalism. This is the thing that The Guardian do, basically, where they'll find someone and they'll say, do you want to accuse him of spreading toxic nationalism? And that person will go, yes, he was spreading toxic nationalism. They go, Jenrick accused of fueling toxic nationalism. Let's go to the Daily Express. Kemi, trust me to put the UK's economy back on track, she says. The Daily Telegraph, EU threatens to cripple British steel with huge tariffs. The Sun is the second newspaper overtly leading with this story. £700 motor fees payout for millions of drivers. The Mirror have gone with one of the killers of Stephen Lawrence, who is apparently up for parole, and they say it is sickening. Those are your newspapers. Right, I'm not quite sure what our ETA is on Ben Leo, whether or not he's still alive, because it looked like he was about to be lynched there at a pro-Palestine bar. Just to tell you, by the way, he just went up to someone before and said, what flag is that? They went, it's the flag of Hamas. We had a placard that said that Mohammed was trans. I mean, really, it was like nothing you've ever seen. So we'll go back to it if he's still alive. But let's deal with Robert Jenrick not being a massive racist first, and we can go with The Guardian. Poppy, what do you make of the idea that Robert Jenrick is now being accused of fueling a fire of toxic nationalism?
Well, it's just walking through this area in Birmingham enough to make you a toxic nationalist. I'm not sure if I was The Guardian, that's the line I would go. Just having eyes and being able to walk through somewhere, and apparently that's so radicalising it's going to turn you into Enoch Powell. I mean, like, look, we now have census data that anyone can just look up for free. You know, you don't have to get into a login. You can just go and see the area that he was talking about in Birmingham and see that it was overwhelmingly non-British. It was overwhelming, like a tiny, tiny, tiny minority of people who would have had white faces in the first place. So what exactly did he say that was wrong? He's just seen something happen.
Yeah, but he then went on to quite clearly say, you know, it wasn't really about culture. It was about integration and things. And again, anyone who's ever been to parts of Birmingham will just tell you that, like, it's not. I mean, the clinics that help treat women for FGM and the incest nurses that we need to have in parts of Birmingham would indicate that integration has not been particularly good.
No, not unless they want us to integrate in that. And I'm assuming that they don't. Look, I mean, Twelsey and his chums.
There we go.
Twelsey's our lefty over there. They are very keen on things like talking about indigenous people, and in any other country that seems to be an OK point to make. In this country here, is what Robert Jenrick was saying. He felt, in many ways, he was saying he felt unsafe, which I'm sure you might take umbrage with, and we can discuss that. But the point is, the indigenous people of the UK are white and have a specific type of British culture. That's not being evidenced by what we're seeing in Birmingham, and as a result, Robert Jenrick is doing us a service by pointing it out, because if he doesn't, we can't start to integrate, we can't walk towards a solution.
So I don't know about racism. I think it's definitely just a weird thing to say at a fundraising dinner. Do you know what I mean? I've never really fundraised with Tory donors, but I can't imagine that patter goes down that well. But also, if he really did have a problem with it, imagine if his party had been in power for 15 years.
Yeah, I mean,
imagine if he had been the immigration minister. Could you imagine what he could have done to change this thing that is a real big issue in his worldview?
I think it's supposed to be the lefty. You think he wasn't hardline enough on immigration?
I think it's just stupid. If you're going to go chatting about integration, about immigration, make sure you weren't the immigration minister before you start doing that. I just think he's a hypocrite and he's a bit of a weirdo. You know, his speech on stage, he was
hypocrite and a weirdo.
He's just a weirdo.
Well, he's not a weirdo,
he is a weird guy.
Sorry, no. I'm telling you what's weird, mate, is going to Birmingham, looking around and going, gosh, this is great. It's not.
No,
it's not.
I mean, Birmingham's one of the fastest
you can also
in the UK. I think Andy Street did a pretty good job.
No, Andy Street coming up there and describing why Birmingham was so great, saying it's a diverse city. Sorry, if you've got two parallel communities where one street down it's 90% white British and the other street down it's 90% British Asian, that is not a diverse city. That's people living parallel lives. Another thing he said that was great about Birmingham is that people are doing business side by side together from all different communities. Well, I'm sorry, I do business in, like, the Singapore duty-free. That doesn't make me Singaporean. There's more to a nation than just going shopping together.
Well, we actually played on my last show. I don't know if we might be able to find this again. But it was the exact street that Robert Jenrick said that he was talking about. There's footage of that street, and I played this in my 9 p.m. hour on my last show, which shows basically that he's absolutely right. So there wasn't really any kind of white faces there at all.
There needs to be some harmony, and there isn't, because, as Poppy just pointed out, these are, and I love this term, by the way, and I've only heard it from you tonight when I was listening to the show earlier, and now, the parallel lives that are being led. We're being sold this this solution of multiculturalism and diversity is our strength, and we're shown these scenes as if that is the success. It's not at all. All that's happening is the culture from somewhere else is coming to Birmingham and setting up its own gang and its own area, and the incumbent culture. And I hate to say white because you could be any colour and be British, but historically, British people are white. But we're from Northern Europe. There isn't that much sun up here. That's why why we're white. Okay.
This patter has been going on for centuries, though. Before it was the small boat migrants, it was the Irish. Before that, it was the Jewish. Always separate cultures.
I'm not sure that's making the point that you think it is, though. It takes hundreds of years to integrate people who are really similar.
I mean, the Irish came here in the 20s and 30s. The Jewish came here in the 40s.
By the way, this is the road, so you can talk over it, but you know. But we know what it looks like. So he's not wrong, is he? This is the point.
The point is the culture that we point to now, going, oh well, no, they're the good kind of different culture. They've integrated now. 40 years ago, oh no, they'll never integrate. We can't have them here. We can't have them here.
Sorry,
it's been the patter for
there was
decades
literally
of the reactionary
terrorism.
right.
There was terrorism over the problem of Irish integration. I'm not really sure that's making the argument you think it is.
I don't think there was.
The point is, it's really hard to integrate people who are actually really quite similar to each other. So I think the lesson of our nation's history is not let's just let everyone in and hope that this time it's going to work out all okay. It's that integration's really, really hard. And that's why someone like Robert Jenrick, who at least can be honest about what's happened.
He's finding his moral conscience now about this big issue that really bothers him, not when he was in government, not when he was immigration minister, when he's in opposition as a backbench MP, which he effectively is.
But at least
isn't a real job. In Newark, he's going to lose his seat to reform. I think he should deal with the issues in Newark rather than trying to get into some kind of hypothetical debate about integration.
He won't lose his seat to reform if he joins reform. That would be my political advice to Robert Jenrick. However,
I suppose they did say 25 Tory councillors today. So I mean, they are quickly becoming the.
There is only one Conservative Party in Great Britain now, and it is Reform. It's end of chat. And you know, we're
taking all the people, aren't they? What's the tangible difference now?
Well, there isn't a tangible difference now, other than the one tangible difference is that, I've never even voted Reform. I know I'm on this channel, and everyone just expects that I do. I've never voted Reform, but it's very, very, very obvious what's about to happen. Anyone who is likely to have voted Conservative, irrespective of what Kemi Badenoch might say about the economy, is going to vote Reform. Anyone who's in the red wall and has been a dyed-in-the-wall unionist like yourself, Twelsey, they are going to vote Reform because they will feel represented. They're not represented by Keir Starmer and his commie mates. They don't represent anybody outside of Islington.
You know, we should just be glad that someone like Robert Jenrick, regardless of party affiliation, is able to say something that is just true. It's an observation. And what I can't stand about this country is people who are just lying. They are lying to our faces. They're feigning ignorance about the country that we actually live in. Because what they want to do is bait you into saying something so they could go, gotcha, you're not allowed to say that, that's a naughty word. And I'm sick of it. Like, this is our country. This is a country that we all have to live in, OK? And we're going to have to find a way to deal with these problems and try and integrate us. No. He did not create that. This has been going on for a lot longer than the times the Tories have been in power. And I'm no fan of the party,
I think it's headlines like this.
That is a distraction.
The Tory, by the way, I obviously do think the Tories had a huge amount to play in the fact that we're in a massive mess because they were literally in power. However, I also think it's headlines like this that have caused this country problems, because any time someone turns up and says something like, goodness gracious me, I don't think that aspects of that community from Mirpur in Pakistan have integrated particularly well, and there does appear to be an over-representation of them when it comes to the Pakistani rape gang scandal, then you're just called a racist and you're just not allowed to mention it, and then you end up with just like, OK, well, I'll keep quiet then. And then here we are. And it's a little bit of a mess, actually, isn't it? I think a lot of it.
That is exactly what has happened over about a 30-year period in this country, to the point now where people are going, there are enough people now saying that I'm not concerned about being called racist, that it no longer holds the weight it did.
So what's Big Jenrick going to do? What was his plan?
Big Jenrick is...
What was his plan to fix it?
I don't know what his plan is to fix it, actually, Mr. Twelves, and I will call you Andy for the rest of the show. Sorry, mate. I don't know what his plan is to fix it, but I'll tell you how you start a solution, exactly as Poppy said. You start talking honestly about the problem. We're not talking honestly about the problem if we are obtuse about the colour of their skin, we're obtuse about their cultural differences, we're obtuse about their religious differences, and we're obtuse about the fact that they just don't assimilate and just don't integrate into the incumbent culture. And our incumbent culture has its own problems, but we are able to tackle those problems because we are inundated by all these other cultures, and we're told by the powers that be that this is good for us. Nothing that is happening now, not one thing that's happening now, is good for us as a culture. And it's why right-wing populism is as big as it is. And it is never, ever going away until we start being honest about it. If people in the Labour Party started being as honest as Robert Jenrick, if people in the Lib Dems stop galloping around like Davey does and start talking honestly about the problems, then we wouldn't need reform. We wouldn't need Nigel Farage. We wouldn't need to have these conversations. Me and Patrick would be out of a job. So the longest... no chance, actually. Not me and Patrick. No. I'll go back to belly dancing.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I'd have to go back to playing the lute while you did it.
Yeah. It was a... Patrick, it was a good team. I told you, it was a good team.
Oh, the hips didn't lie. Right, coming up, we will be taking you live to New York to see what happens to Ben Leo, because Ben Leo has been in amongst it. Look, we know that we've had... I'm surprised no national newspaper has led on this, by the way. We've had a series of campus protests on October the 7th to basically, in my view anyway, commemorate what Hamas did. But they've got it on steroids in New York, and we've had some exceptional footage from there, so we're going to go back over to Ben Leo shortly, if he's still alive. Stay tuned.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world. Am I allowed to talk then? No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
The cost of parking, it's increased by, wait for it, 500%.
And they've done that overnight without consultation, right?
Yeah.
So it now costs £4.85 an hour, right? And what's that going to do? It's going to stop people visiting. And it's not easy to get around York, I have to say. One road in, one road out type thing, congestion around the place. Yes, there's car parking spaces, but goodness me, I mean, this is obviously very, very controversial. These are the sort of taxes, indirect taxes that come on all of us. It's now going to cost us so much money just to get there, just to see there. Tell us more.
That's right, Eamon, and the City of York Council have introduced this to try and reduce congestion, to try and get more people on buses, more people cycling to go shopping. But of course, that infrastructure hasn't been put in place. There's not been extra buses put on. There's not been extra bike racks for people to park. And certainly when you're doing a shop, a lot of the shops here are greengrocers, butchers. How are you going to carry all that on a bike? I'd like to introduce you to Karen now. She's just come to pay for parking, expecting that it was going to be 80p. How do you feel when you've just seen this price rise today?
I am really annoyed. I've come out with enough money to pay basically for 2 hours. I'm having my hair done, which then, knowing now that this is, say, triple what it would have been, then my online payment isn't working. So I'm effectively not able to pay, which is really, really, really annoying.
GB News, the People's Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
All right, OK, well, look, I think we're going to be going back to Ben Leo in New York at some point soon. I mean, it was some of the best footage that we've ever had there. It would be absolutely mad if we don't go back to him. I mean, really, it was the most compelling stuff you'll see on telly at this time. Big point of difference between us and all the other news channels right now will be ludicrous if we don't get him back. But I think Ben Leo will be there with us shortly in New York at that pro-Palestine march. Have you ever seen anything like that, by the way? I mean, there was the Hamas flag, wasn't there?
It's basically a nuttier version of the nuttiest stuff you've ever seen. And I don't know if... I'm hoping a lot of the viewers transition from your other show onto this one. But I was sat in the green room before this show, just looking at that, thinking, this is astonishing. I mean, one thing that stands out to me, as soon as you go to the pro-Palestine / as they admitted, pro-Hamas supporters, they're entirely covered. They don't want their faces to be seen. If you've got a political point that you are so engaged with, that you want to make, and you want your voice to be heard, why is your face covered?
Just before this, because it ties in with what's on the front of the Daily Telegraph as well, because as everyone knows, that we had these huge student protests here in Britain today. But I can play you a little clip now of some of the stuff that Ben Leo got there in New York just moments ago. Just get a load of this. You've not seen it already. I mean, this is absolute gold, I think.
What's this flag, sorry?
It's the Hamas flag.
It's Hamas?
Yes.
Are Hamas not prescribed in the... Are Hamas not prescribed in the United States? Are Hamas not a prescribed terrorist organisation?
It is.
So why are you flying that without... I mean, why aren't the police picking you up? Because in the UK you'd be arrested for that.
Well, it's called freedom of speech, right? It's freedom of speech, freedom of expression. People can support whoever they want just because some government prescribes someone as a terrorist. Does that mean you have to also agree with them?
OK, some would say you're supporting terrorists, you're supporting people who slaughtered 1,200 people on this day 2 years ago. Why have you chosen this day of all days to come out?
Because this is October 7th, the day where Hamas they broke out and they started the resistance. It's from all the resistance. It's from the resistance from 77 years of occupation and apartheid and oppression.
So you support the murder and killing of civilians in a resistance?
No, I do not. No, we don't support Israel.
Well, that's what happened on October the 7th, though. I mean, many civilians...
You know the Hannibal directive?
I've heard of it, yeah.
So basically, what's called Israel killed their own people to blame it on Hamas because they didn't want Hamas to take their people.
Can I ask why you're masked as well? If you're so proud and decisive against Israel, why are you hiding your identity?
The reason why I hide my identity is because these people, they like to dox us and ruin our lives.
Well, none of that lot are masked, so you're not being a bit of a coward.
No, they are proud of committing genocide, and this country is funding, helping them.
Are you not proud of Hamas killing civilians?
I'm proud of working for Israel.
I just wonder why you're masked, though. If you're so passionate about the subject, why you mask yourself? This lot aren't masked.
I just told you. Because
they dox you?
Yes, because they dox us in our lives.
Well, they're doxed as well. Anyway, move on. Thank you for your time, man.
Absolutely remarkable stuff there. I do hope we can go back to Ben Leo. He says he wants to do it again for us live on this show, so hopefully we do get it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, bringing us back closer to home here, we know that we've had protests all day here. It is on the front of the Daily Telegraph. But just to show you, I think that how deranged some of these people are, this is the speech, I believe, a bride made on her own wedding day.
Alongside their demonisation of trans people, our government and media is currently also complicit in a genocide. And I know some of you may think a wedding is not the time to think of this, but it frankly would not sit right with me to not take this opportunity when I have a platform to speak on this issue. The ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people is a horror that cannot be ignored. We cannot succumb to hatred. We have to email our MPs, we have to speak up, or we will be lost, all of us.
Happiest day of her life. Happiest day of her life.
It didn't look like the happiest day of her husband's life, did it? Did you see him to the side of that? He looked absolutely petrified about what's about to come.
By the way, considering I'm worried about some of the content in my speech, but I mean,
you get free speech. But, you know, don't do it at your wedding.
I think it's really quite something. She said, I've got a platform to speak. It's like, yeah, it's literally your wedding. What are you talking about? You're talking to your mother-in-law. She literally can't leave.
And Uncle Bob, racist Uncle Bob is her audience.
He's like, oh, no.
She's talking again.
Oh,
Who let her talk again?
What's not traditional, this, is it? Ridiculous. I mean, go in there and make it all about Palestine.
I think, do you know what? It's gone viral. It's on GB News. It's done its rounds on Twitter. Fair enough.
Do you want your wedding to go viral?
I mean,
do you know what?
There are worse things for your wedding to go viral for.
There are, no, that's true.
Arguably, you know.
Fall in love, celebrate that love with your family. Don't mention Palestine. They're the 3 rules of any good wedding.
Trans?
No trans. Don't say anyone's trans, particularly some...
This is the problem, right? You start doing acknowledgements and, you know, the laundry list of all of these grievances that these people have must be going on and on and on. You'll get to your first wedding anniversary by the time you're finished.
I'd like to acknowledge this wedding is on stolen land.
No, stolen land.
This is the thing,
It's just the Marriott, mate.
Unceded Paddington territory.
It's just the Marriott, yeah. We're at a travel lodge. But on a more serious note, of course. But I think I do think the best antidote to this is just to mock it a lot of the time. But the Telegraph have actually gone for it. I did think it would be on more national newspapers, but they've acknowledged that there were these protests today that took place at various different campuses, and I don't know, I just thought it was a bit like the kind of. Yeah, I mean, there was a girl at, I think it was King's College, and she's just openly said, we had a clip of it by the show, she just basically pretty much said she really did not...
This is the young Muslim lady that she was in hijab?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she said there's no space, no place for Jewish people in the Middle East. That's exactly what she said. And she said the Middle East will be much better when she goes back to where they come from, which was likely to have been the US or Europe. So she was immediately setting about her own friendly version of the genocide. And the thing is that she was a young lady, I'd say, probably in her early 20s. She's learned that. She's learned that from her family. She's learned that from her home life. And she is not changing her mind now, no matter how unidealistic she becomes over the course of finding out that what she's saying is abhorrent. She's not going to change her mind now, and this problem is going on for generations after generations. And how anybody can expect to fix this problem when the young people have got those views? Now, when it comes to the actual protest, I am so torn when it comes to this, because I'm a huge supporter of free speech, huge supporter of protest. I'd love to have seen some decorum last week. I'd love to have seen some decorum today. If paragliders swooped into that protest today and did all sorts of nasty things to those people, in 2 years' time, I would not be celebrating it. And they are essentially doing that.
Well, I'm sorry, I think it's also like the logic that, if you could even call it logic, right? So there's this woman here, she's got an accent, she might well be an international student, you know, standing here in London, saying that she doesn't think that Jews have a right to exist in the Middle East and they should go back to where they came from. Obviously, particularly offensive when she mentioned Poland, because, you know, there was a reason why Jews left Poland, because of the Holocaust. But anyway, moving on from that one.
We've got the clip, by the way. It might be nice to actually have that at some point. But
I just think the line that she's taking, right, which is so you can only live where your ancestors have lived before. So what logic does that mean to the UK? It sounds to me like she's coming across as a far-right politician.
She's an advocate for Robert Jenrick.
Yeah.
An even bigger advocate for Enoch Powell.
Am I allowed to go up to her and say, I'm really sorry, but you're going to have to go back because obviously you're on occupied London territory?
Okay.
I mean...
Sorry, I was just hoping that we might have had the clip of that thing that we spent the last 5 minutes talking about. That would have been really nice, because we've been playing it all day. But anyway, your views on on what that girl said?
I didn't actually see the clip.
You've not seen the clip? Really, that's a shame. Neither has anyone else now. Fantastic. No, that's all right.
It's obviously reprehensible and wrong. I think I would, if I was organising the protest, probably wouldn't have today. I think it's in poor taste. But I don't think we should ban it, because I think when you start banning protests, I think, you know, condemn it, not ban it. I think is my kind of...
Yeah, in a way it's been very revealing. Look, in a way, I mean, if there's one kind of positive out of it, I suppose it's been quite revealing, which is that, like, I think today was the day that any semblance of a mask slipped from...
And I think that... the question that was most interesting that she answered was, could you understand why the Jewish people would find this offensive? And she basically said, she paused for a long time and said, yes, I could understand, but I don't care what they think.
Yeah. All right. We're going to have to move it. Well, she has literally. Also, no, and neither did we, which is annoying. But anyway, I also appreciate it's got nothing to do with you. You didn't say it. So there we go. Anyway, coming up in just a moment.
China. 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 China.
So it's on the front of, I think, at least one and maybe two national newspapers, which is the China spy scandal. And the plot has thickened, and it leads, apparently, to the Labour government. Stay tuned.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to your GB News weather update from the Met Office. As we head into tomorrow, the sunshine will return for some. Still fairly cloudy across the south, though, and plenty of showers moving their way in across Scotland. Back to this evening, and we can expect some spells of rain, initially across northern parts of England and Wales. Then eventually the system will drift its way southwards, bringing in more cloud, also some drizzly outbreaks across central and southern parts of the UK. To the north of this, though, mostly dry. Plenty of clear skies, which means it is going to turn chilly. A chance we could see some isolated frost, possibly even some mist and fog during the early hours of the morning. A different story across Scotland, though, more cloud here and plenty of showers moving through. So a fairly chilly start across northern areas, but slightly milder under the cloud in the south. And it is going to be quite a grey and gloomy start to the day. There will be some drizzle in places, mostly across any hilly areas. And as we head our way further north, it will become drier. Plenty of bright and clear spells to start the day, though it is going to feel chilly. And across Scotland, once again, it is going to be another wet start. Plenty of showers continuing to push their way in from the west, turning quite breezy here at times too. And these showers often merging together to bring quite persistent outbreaks of rain. And it's likely these will linger through much of the day. But any cloud and drizzle will eventually shift its way southwards, so it should turn drier and brighter here, but the best of the brightness is going to be across Wales, central parts of England, also Northern Ireland should see plenty of sunny spells. Those showers are set to continue across Scotland though. Temperatures will be fairly similar to what we saw this afternoon, so highs of 17 to 18 degrees Celsius. Heading into Thursday and across the south, it will be a much brighter start to the day. It's going to be chilly though, some mist and fog in places. Many areas should see a mostly dry day, though we have once again got some showers just starting to move into western parts of Scotland, also parts of Northern Ireland, so it could be a little damp here at times. For the rest of the week and into the weekend, high pressure dominating, so mostly dry, though it's often going to be cloudy. That's it from me. Bye-bye.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, DC.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
OK, welcome back. So look, shortly I'm being reliably informed that we are going to go back to those New York protests with Ben Leo, our very own, in the thick of it, because it looks like it's nuts out there. But before we do that, let's just bring up the copy of The Times, because they've decided to go big. It's a story, it's on two national newspapers. The Daily Mail are running with it as well. But ministers, quotes, refuse to help China spying prosecutions. Repeated requests for evidence of security threat unanswered, says the CPS. So basically now, the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Crown Prosecution Service have kind of unequivocally thrown this Labour government under the bus. Poppy, do you mind explaining slightly what's going on here with this?
Yeah, so this is somewhat complicated because obviously we don't have the full details of what's been going on. But what we are aware of is that two people were accused of passing on some kind of information to the Chinese government. Now, the reason why this trial seems to have collapsed is because in order to prosecute these people under a law, you would have to say that China was an enemy of the UK. You couldn't just say they're passing on information to a foreign country. It would have to be an enemy country to to actually get over the line for this particular definition of espionage. Now, the government didn't want to say that China was an enemy because obviously they have dealings with China, as we know, with the embassy scandal that's been rolling on for a long time. So the CPS was really frustrated because they were going to number 10 saying, can you just tell us that China's an enemy so we can prosecute these people who we think have been spying? And the government said no. And they just ignored them. So now it's all come out in the press and it's made the government look incredibly silly. But I think it kind of reflects the fact that they don't really know how they feel about China. We've seen this with the embassy that David Lammy was overseeing, right? This mega embassy that they're building in the centre of London that might have secret tunnels and basements. It sounds slightly sinister. And they don't really know how to respond to it because they don't want to upset the Chinese government, but also they're aware that a lot of people are like, do we really want China to have a massive embassy with secret basements in the heart of London? So I think that's why it's all come down in the way it has.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, part of me understands it, but then I'm a bit like, well, what does this just mean going forward now? So are we just saying to the Chinese, like, you can just do whatever you want and we're just not going to do it because you're scared to do anything?
There's two things happening simultaneously and they don't coexist very well. One is geopolitics and the fact that China is quite clearly our enemy in many aspects and the fact that we do need them on board for all the reasons that Poppy said. And there's also our judicial system, which is supposed to operate without fear or favour. In this case, it's both fearful and favourable of China. And you know, it's very difficult to criticise Keir Starmer and say he should do anything else, because at the end of the day, that relationship's got to be maintained. The trouble is, it plays out publicly because this is in a law court, and it kind of, I think, not wanting to bring it back too domestically, but it kind of brings it back into spotlight two-tier justice, because we're told two-tier justice cannot exist. This is incredibly two-tier. This is China on one tier and everybody else on the other tier. So we know that two-tier justice can and does exist, both at geopolitical level and at domestic level.
It is very revealing because it's probably the most on-the-nose admittance of something that I think deep down we all knew, which is that we are absolutely flipping terrified of
Yes.
I think obviously I don't speak on behalf of the government.
Yeah.
They can come to their own conclusions. I think the issue was if they had indicated that China was an enemy, then they would have had to submit quite lengthy evidence throughout a trial declaring why they were an enemy. I think that's when you start getting down diplomatic rabbit holes that just damage our relations.
But they
with China
got caught.
massively.
But this is the thing. Don't get caught. Like, don't bring it to this stage. At some point in between, like now and the moment they were caught, just make it go away.
Speaker of the House is bringing a private prosecution. Lindsay Hoyle is bringing a private prosecution against them. They're not getting off scot-free, and also they'll never get a job again.
Sorry,
No,
Patrick.
well,
There's something really charming about this, which is the idea that, you know, China has to go out of the way to deliberately spy on people. Have you met an MP? I mean, they'll tell you everything the second you have a pint with them. Like, I don't think it's fair. They send everything via WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger.
You don't even need a honey trap.
I think it's charming that the Chinese have even bothered to get people on board. You just go down the Red Lion and chat to someone.
Also, wasn't this a group that was supposedly set up amongst MPs to try to counter Chinese influence in Britain?
It's very embarrassing for the Tories.
And the Chinese just infiltrated it. It's like, maybe you should. Maybe if you don't want the Chinese to start spying on you, you shouldn't say like, well, let's set up a group, right? That's gonna stop the Chinese. Just go to the pub. Don't tell anyone about anything. Just have that chat amongst yourselves, and then, you know, hopefully it goes away. But yeah, I mean, just remarkable, really. Can we talk a little bit about? I know Kemi Badenoch's on the front of a few papers. Badenoch to set out golden rule to cut spending and borrowing. Kemi Badenoch will promise to cut government spending to balance the books. In a speech to the Conservative Party conference today, which is tomorrow if you're watching live, she will promise to prioritise reducing the deficit over cutting taxes and ensure a future Tory government lives within our means. Under a new golden rule, the Tories will promise that at least half of anything saved through spending cuts will go towards reducing government borrowing. Look, sounds a bit boring, especially for me at this time of night, but no doubt probably quite important.
Well,
go on, sorry, Poppy.
I've just come back from Tory conference, actually.
Condolences.
Yeah, well, indeed, and it felt like a wake. It was completely dead. I didn't bother to stay for Kemi's speech because, as Patrick has pointed out, it is really boring.
Right.
And the massive problem at the moment is the fact they have nothing to distinguish themselves from reform. So they're trying to do this line that they're fiscally conservative, just don't pay attention to the Liz Truss stuff, move along, don't remember that, even though it wasn't very long ago. But they haven't really got got any policies to prove that they would be any better at managing the economy. So I don't really know why you would go back to the Tories at this point, unless you really enjoy watching Jenrick, walk around with those judges' wigs, which I do think was quite funny.
I thought he beheaded someone in it. No, seriously, I had the TV quite far away, and I was like on my phone. I turned around and I was like, flipping out, Jenrick's done it. He's gone full ISIS.
He's got a silent sneaker's head.
Oh my gosh! I was like, what's he done? He's gone mad. He's gone mad. I know you care, mate, but like flipping heck.
The issue was, at like Labour Party conference, the leader will speak once. They won't do fringes. They'll speak at like internal Labour Party stuff, but not like any other events. Kemi's done like 4 or 5 kind of mini speeches about the ECHR.
She's letting them all know she's the leader, Andy.
It's just she's talking about the next Tory government. She won't be the leader of the Tories this time next year.
There's a rumour doing the rounds on X tonight that she's...
Formerly known as Twitter.
The artist formerly known as Twitter, saying that she, if the May elections don't go well, that she's willing to resign.
Oh, that's big.
That's big of her.
I mean, I imagine she denies that, but, so what? All right.
We'll get a choice. I mean, we often forget now, like, the Labour Party don't have the kind of removal devices that the Tories did. Like, the 1922 committee is still pretty brutal. Like... I mean, they don't have that many MPs to get to that percentage for no confidence vote. She could be done immediately.
All right, fair enough. Right, look, coming up very, very shortly.
I am so proud of all of you. You know how privileged I feel to have been educated at Howard University.
Kamala Harris had a long lunch. Anyway, we're going to play you that clip of Kamala Harris appearing to be absolutely off her nut, which I imagine she would deny. And just remember as well, after mine, look, I know that we promote this throughout every single show that we've ever done here, because it's all about GB News family, but we've got The Late Show Live, which is up next for the 2 hours. The Late Show Live is next, midnight until 2 a.m. The Late Show Live, every single night. We do it here. Stay tuned.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Looking ahead to tomorrow across southern parts of Europe, there's a lot of fine weather around. A few spots of rain here and there, a couple of showers starting to push their way into parts of Portugal, maybe around some coastal parts of Spain. Otherwise, a generally fine picture here. Also generally dry across much of Italy as well. Further east into parts of Greece, also around Croatia, a few showery bursts, but a lot of that clearing away. So actually, as we go through the end of the week into the weekend, it's looking dry for many of us and warm in the sunshine.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints. How many fingers have I got up? About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back,
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
and we do not shy away from the difficult stuff.
Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood.
So join me on Jubes and Kerr weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as
and now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
All right, OK, welcome back. Now, this won't be on any of the front pages because I think anyway, it's happened like a few hours ago. But this is Kamala Harris appearing. I mean, look, she will might deny this, but I'm going to let you make your own mind up about what kind of state she's in here.
I am so proud of all of you. You know how privileged I feel to have been educated at Howard University. There is so much about everything I have achieved, and I've been the first to do many things because of being here when I was your age, knowing that everything that I'm being told and can feel tells us we can be and do anything, that we expect you to be leaders locally, statewide, nationally, and internationally.
Grief. You know, God, what could have been? Hey, you know, that's just ludicrous, isn't it?
That's based. Based. She's unemployed. She's not going into.
Hang on a second. Is she technically unemployed?
I'm sure the tax service in America would. She doesn't have She's not in charge of the country. Yeah, she's not in charge of the country. I'm employed and I sometimes get drunk at 2 p.m. So, you know, let he without sin cast the first.
Well, quite, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, been on record about some of my issues in the past, but go on,
Well, I don't drink either, but there's a human element to this, right? I don't like the gaslighting involved. The same with Biden as well, where we're told these are the sensible option to Donald Trump. This is a woman who walks around drunk in the afternoon shouting that Donald Trump has got no mandate, even though he won every swing state.
I do trust it, to be fair. I see a...
Would you trust... So, OK, the point is...
You could imagine her as a fun auntie at a wedding.
I could, but
you know what I mean? I think
in charge of the free world.
I don't know. Better than Trump, probably.
Well, you've got to say that. You're paid by the Chinese, Andy. You were telling me...
The Chinese government would deny that allegation.
I'd love that. We see a letter from the Chinese embassy disassociating themselves with you as opposed to the other way around. No, I just thought it was funny. I mean, look, again, obviously we don't have any actual hardcore proof that Kamala Harris was drunk in public at what looked like the mid-afternoon randomly on a college campus. But, I mean...
Was this in the spirit of university life?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it was also not illegal. I mean, it's not illegal, and maybe she'd just gone for a long lunch and wandered out and something like that. I think it's also just the fact that none of what she said, she speaks in these ridiculous
riddles,
metaphors and riddles that don't make sense. Like, did you just fall out of a coconut tree? And then she'll laugh about it, and you're like, sorry, what?
She was like,
what is that?
I was here at your age being told things, and you're like... She was.
But
that's what happens when you get told things at university. Then you write them down.
I suppose the at least positive thing out of this, she won't be drunk driving because she's not allowed to drive. She's a former vice president. She gets...
she's not allowed to drive?
Former presidents and former vice presidents have to have,
Really?
Driving.
It's not like when they weren't allowed to put all of the family of the Iron Brew dynasty in the same aircraft at the same time, just in case. Royal family.
Royal family.
So now we go on to vegan sausage rolls, because the Daily Telegraph have got a little bit on the front page, which I thought might be quite a fun way to end the show. Vegan sausage rolls could be banned in Northern Ireland because of the Brexit deal, unless they're renamed. So on Wednesday, the European Parliament is expected to vote in favour of an amendment that will forbid plant-based food from being sold under meaty terms. So producers in Northern Ireland will instead have to come up with new terms, such as tubes or discs. It's weird, isn't it? Because of a push from Conservative EU lawmakers to appease farmers. However, Greg's vegan sausage rolls will escape the EU name ban because of a loophole in the Brexit treaty. Anyway, right. So what's the point of all this?
It's bizarre. It's culture war stuff. Fundamentally, it's just bizarre.
Are you vegan by any chance?
No, I don't really eat vegetables that much.
Oh, right. You've gone the other way.
My girlfriend will actually criticise me.
Call yourself a lefty, mate.
I know.
Are you supposed to make your pants of asparagus or something just to get in the Labour Party?
This is why he's the comedian. This is really good. I think this is on the left-wing point, Northern Ireland should be part of Ireland, and then it wouldn't be our problem to deal with.
Problem solved.
Your views
nobody wants vegan tubes from Greg.
Can you imagine? Just seriously, can I have a vegan tube? Like, no.
It sounds like meaty terms. I did enjoy that, though.
I know.
I could see your autocue from here. Sorry, I'm giving a game away. Sometimes Patrick reads words over there.
Well,
Not always, though.
No, because sometimes at this time of night, my eyes aren't working well enough for me to read what's on there. I mean, I've done some unspeakable things based purely on just a raw misunderstanding. I've said half the things I say, and I'm like, hang on, was that actually a thing? It's remarkable, isn't it?
Meaty worms. No, I don't want vegan discs or vegan tubes. Look, it is culture war stuff, though, isn't it? It absolutely is culture war stuff. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. OK, all right, OK. Well, thank you very much for my wonderful panel. We have got, obviously, a whole host of newspaper front pages that you'll be picking throughout the course of the day, especially tomorrow, won't you, as well, on breakfast and all of that. Yep, loads of good stuff on there. So I think we can go to Bev Turner now, who is in America for us, in Washington, D.C. We've got the Late Show Live going on over there. Ben Leo has been rampaging through New York, but apparently it was too hot for TV on my show, so you can enjoy it for the next 2 hours. There you go.
Thank you, Patrick. Well, it's not going to be too hot for here. Ben Leo is going to be dropping into the show from New York on October the 7th. You got a sense of it there in Patrick's show. Tensions are running very, very high. It's been a big day here in Washington. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, sat down with Donald Trump. What happened there? And two of your favourite panellists tonight as well.
This is your chance to win a motorhome and cash in our biggest giveaway to date. Courtesy of Marquis Leisure, you could be the proud owner of this 2025 Benamar Primero. It comfortably accommodates 4 people and can be driven on your standard driving licence. Plus, you'll also bank an incredible £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend on anything you like. Make sure you don't miss out. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday Five.
You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah.
Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight on the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/your say. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/your say, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Tonight on The Late Show Live, a very angry crowd in New York. Welcome to The Late Show Live tonight.
Up Hamas.
Up Hamas? You support Hamas?
I surely do. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I?
Up Hamas. Yep, that is what people have been shouting today on the 2-year anniversary of October the 7th. That was in London, but all over the world there have been anti-Netanyahu, pro-Palestine protests, including in New York City, where our very own Ben Leo is right now.
Yeah, it's Bev, viewers, listeners, one of the most extraordinary evenings I've ever had in my life, actually, here in New York City. Insane scenes at the protest. I'll show you all the juicy details in just a second.
Only GB News and Ben Leo would bring you all that also tonight.
It really is, I think, dangerous. I think it's something that we should have seen coming, but we pretty much missed it. And
that's Ambassador John Bolton is going to join us with some truth bombs. We've also got all the main stories from the still warm newspapers from the UK and also here in the United States of America. We are live, of course, in Washington, just yards from the White House, where this happened earlier today.
What they're doing to the country is so incredible, and they got away with it with all their woke crap, and now it's stopped. And we have a country that's based on common sense and strength.
Look at Mark Carney's face. It was so awkward. The president giving both barrels to the king of woke, Canadian PM Mark Carney. That was in the White House only this morning.
Is that a crocodile? I'm just giving him candy, Mom. No!
Now this is making the rounds on the internet. Is it real or not? I did that. My guests are here already breathing in, gasping at that. I am Bev Turner. This is The Late Show Live, and we're just getting started. I have my guests with me in the studio as well this evening. Two of your favourites, actually. Steve and Mally are with me for the duration until 2 o'clock. We're going to be tackling loads of big stories as the evening goes on. But earlier today, thousands of people across the UK took to the streets to protest in favour of Palestine. on the second anniversary of October the 7th, when 1,195 Israelis were killed by terrorist group Hamas. They defied the Prime Minister's calls not to march after he called them un-British. Well, they're still going on here in America, where our very own Ben Leo is right in the centre of New York, in Manhattan, and experienced this just moments ago.
What's this flag, sorry?
It's the Hamas flag.
It's Hamas?
Yes.
Are Hamas not prescribed in the are Hamas not prescribed in the United States?
Huh?
Are Hamas not a prescribed terrorist organisation?
It is.
So why are you flying that without, I mean, why aren't the police picking you up? Because in the UK you'd be arrested for that.
Well, it's called freedom of speech, right? It's freedom of speech, freedom of expression. People can support whoever they want. Just because some government prescribes someone as a terrorist, does that mean you have to also agree with them?
Okay, some would say you're supporting terrorists, you're supporting people who slaughtered 1,200 people on this day 2 years ago. Why have you chosen this day of all days to come out?
Because this is October 7th, the day where Hamas they broke out and they started the resistance. It's from all the resistance. It's from the resistance from 77 years of occupation and apartheid and oppression.
So you support the murder and killing of civilians in a resistance?
No, I do not. No, we don't support Israel.
Well, that's what happened on October the 7th, though. I mean, many civilians.
You know the Hannibal Directive?
I've heard of it, yeah.
So basically, what's called Israel killed their own people to blame it on Hamas because they didn't want Hamas to take their people.
Can I ask why you're masked as well? If you're so proud and decisive against Israel, why are you hiding your identity?
The reason why I hide my identity is because these people, they like to dox us and ruin our lives.
Well, none of that lot are masked, so you're not being a bit of a coward.
No, they are proud of committing genocide, and this country is funding, helping them.
Are you not proud of Hamas killing civilians?
I'm proud of working for Israel.
I just wonder why you're masked, though. If you're so passionate about the subjects, why you mask yourself? This lot aren't masked.
I just told you because
they dox you.
Yes, because they dox us ruin our lives.
Well, they're doxed as well. Anyway, move on. Thank you for your time, man.
Well, that was just a little earlier, but let's go live to GB News presenter Ben, who is in New York still at the protest. Hi, Ben. It looks like things have calmed down there a little bit, have they? And I love the question about why that particular protester had covered up his face, because the pro-Palestinian lot always covered their faces. And for anybody that didn't understand, he said, because they will dox me, didn't he? Meaning they'll put me on the internet, they'll make me a target for hate. What's it been like there tonight, Ben?
Yeah, good evening, viewers, listeners. Bev, it's been, I mean, that was the most extraordinary protest I've ever been to in my life. It puts the toxicity and the levels of anti-Semitism in the UK at the pro-Palestine marches to absolute shame. This was another level. And the situation with the masks as well, I mean, they say it's because they're going to get doxxed. For me, it's just pure cowardice. The Israeli lot who were here earlier, covering this side of I was about to say the sidewalk, shows how long I've been here, the pavement, they're not masked at all. So they're getting doxxed, they're getting identified. The whole reason I argue that the Palestine people mask up is because they're cowards and they can't stand by their position. Just to give you some colour, we're outside the News Corps building here in the centre of New York City in Manhattan. I assume they held the protest here because News Corps, of course, owns Fox News, the major right-wing news channel in the UK. They also own the Sun newspaper in London and the Times newspaper as well. There's been, similar to London, trucks driving down the street here in New York waving Palestinian flags. And New York has 1 million Jews. There's 1.6 million across New York State, and they account for 20% of all the Jews in America. So to say that having the protest here today on October the 7th was offensive, I mean, goodness me, that's an understatement. The protest has now dispersed. They've pretty much all gone home. However, I'm not sure if you saw in the clip there was one young lad holding a sign saying, from the Palestine section, saying Muhammad is trans, and I've just got him here, so I'm going to, when I spoke to him earlier,